Are you aware of all the problems with Blackfriars at the moment with the cycling community?
No, I'm not, but I'm doubtless you're going to tell me about them.
Well, it's TfL, I guess, so it's not your remit, but it's TfL want to increase the speed on this bridge from 20 to 30. And then at the junction we get to the end here, that could potentially get a bit dodgy, so cyclists are getting a bit...
Historically been a dangerous bridge for cyclists,
Yes.
hasn't it? Yeah.
But if you actually do the counts, there's a lot more cyclists use it than motorists.
Really?
So the London Cycling Campaign is trying to get TfL to keep it to 20.
Is the problem where the cycling ends at the end of the bridge?
Well, it's the whole thing, but yes, it's this bit here. So where it says 20 there now, well, they want to make that 30. Is there anything that you can do about that, or is that always going to be TfL?
It's entirely TfL. I'm afraid that's in the new world of devolution and localism. I can't go around interviewing an individual speed limit up and down the country, I'm afraid. What I can do is get the framework right so people can have the councils and so on have the choice as to what they do. I've just made it easier to get 20 mile per hour limits in, as a matter of fact.
Yes, I did a story on that.
So, if they want to do it, they can do it, but it's not for me, I think, to tell them what to do.
Obviously the main thrust is to maintain a 20 mile an hour speed limit on Blackfriars Bridge and to make Transport for London reconsider a design that's bizarrely made it more hostile for cycling. Even though research has found, I don't know how extensive that research is, but there are more cyclists than motorists using the Blackfriars Bridge at peak time.
Blackfriars Bridge. At the moment there is a very dangerous junction at the northern end of Blackfriars Bridge. It's very difficult for anybody other than the most experienced cyclist to try and get across. The good news is that TfL wants to redevelop it to make it safer for cyclists. The bad news is that their redevelopment plans really only tinker at the edges of the issue, and they're just not going to reduce road danger to the level that it needs to be reduced for, you know, people with families, for example, to be able to cycle across that bridge and into the city. And unless that happens, unless we, you know, take junctions like Blackfriars and really develop them for the 21st century, a proper cycling city, then we will not achieve our goals of cyclising London.
Help LCC in every way we can, because it is absolutely crucial that decent, high-quality infrastructure is implemented there. Because if we don't win there, then it's a fail for all over London, because London has everything to gain from high-quality infrastructure.
You need the right mix of solutions in the right places, and it's not about saying, you know, one particular solution is a panacea. Not that anybody has ever said that. I think we're just learning to be clearer in articulating the fact that yes, segregation is part of the solution, and there will be parts of London where segregation will be needed, but there'll be other parts of London where the solution is not necessarily segregation. And across London, yes, we must look for 20 mile an hour speed limits wherever people live. We must reduce traffic flows, we must reduce traffic speeds, but I don't see these things as either ors. I don't even see them as being part of a hierarchy. I see them as being part of a toolkit that needs to be appropriately applied in the appropriate circumstances wherever they appear in London. It seems to prioritise motor vehicle transportation as if cyclists weren't also traffic. And you know, we need a genuine freedom to choose that cycle and to cycle safely across major junctions like Blackfriars, otherwise the city is not accessible to us and our children. Do you agree with that, and do you think we need to re-evaluate the way we seem to still in traffic planning prioritise the motor car?
What I do think is that up and down the country you've got obviously a myriad of different circumstances have to be taken into account and planned for separately, and you've also got different people with different mindsets who are involved on different occasions. So it's not surprising that somewhere you get a bad solution for cyclists, and other places you get something which is very innovative and creative. So I don't think the system's wrong, actually. I think that sometimes...
Is it a cultural issue?
Well, it may be a cultural issue in certain circumstances with individuals or with particular councils. But in our new localist era, where ministers aren't micromanaging everything in sight, which is the way it should be, I've got no power over what happens at Blackfriars Bridge, and I don't think I should have either. But it has been raised to me by 3 people this morning. So what I can do, I think, legitimately, is draw the attention to the Mayor and TfL that this issue's been raised with me, and ask them to consider the comments that have been passed on to me.
On behalf of the London Cycling Campaign, thank you for that.